Welcome to Mark Arnold's Finance. Today I want to do something fun and different. I want to tell you guys a story that I created that represents the stock market, what's happened in the last couple years and what I think is going to happen in the near future. I just think we hear the same narrative, and to kind of switch that up and put it in something fun, and then I'll of course go back at the end of my story and kind of put things in perspective. But I think this will be fun, so join me for this. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. I'm somebody that's very transparent, so speaking of that, I created a chart recently, so I am transparent and show you my performance with every video. So let's see how my portfolio is doing. So last time I think it was about a 7.7% gain. Now it's fallen just below that 7% at 6.96% gain with 2,400 in the green, almost 2,500. I think the companies that are really hurting me, Meta is dipping today. I'm down almost, about 26.5%. Tattooed Chef is a big one. It's down 60%. I don't have a lot of money in that though. But I think Warner Bros. Discovery is what's really dragging my portfolio today. I think last time it was down 35%. Now it's down 40%. But I want to point out Amazon. Now, Amazon in the stock market is considered a consumer discretionary stock. I see it more as a technology stock, so that's why I lump it in with my technology stocks here. But last time it was barely in the green, and now it's up a little over 7%. So this just shows how quick the market can change, which is a great segue into this story that I'm going to tell you. So kick back, relax, get yourself a drink, a beverage, and close your eyes maybe even, and just picture this story that I'm about to tell you, because it's just something that I thought of in my mind, and I think it really well represents what I want to get out as far as what's happened and what I think is going to happen. Can't predict a thing, but it's my shot at predicting. So let's get into this story. Now this story is going to be about people in a raft going down a river. So before I get started, it's important to know what these represent. So the raft represents the stock market. The people in the raft represent investors, and the river represents the economy. So that way you can just keep this in the back of your head while we go through this story. And of course, at the end, I'll tie everything together for us. So let's get started with the story I created and see if you guys like it. See if I can make some storybooks someday. Maybe not, but you let me know how I do. So let's get started. Imagine 10 people in a raft on a river. The ride starts calm, is scenic, and everyone is happy. After some time on the river, some level 3 rapids appear. Half the crew becomes fearful and the other half excited. As the raft hits the rapids, 2 people are ejected out of the raft, and a few more individuals become fearful seeing their 2 friends fall off that raft. The waters calm again after some time, and the remaining 8 people in the raft all mostly feel relieved, and a few thought that this was pretty awesome, hitting those level 3 rapids. Everyone is happy again, but now with that image in the back of their mind and how it felt, that is something that they now hold with them. After a short time of calmness, a noise in the distance becomes more and more noticeable. People on the boat begin to realize that that noise is a waterfall ahead. All 8 individuals become more fearful, some more than others. 2 individuals jump off the raft out of fear. As the raft gets closer to the waterfall, off to the right, the remaining 6 individuals notice that there's a small stream about the width of the raft, providing a calm way out. As they all work tirelessly to steer the raft to the small opening, a small window of opportunity, a current happens and pulls them away, and they are now realizing that they are headed straight for the waterfall. One individual on the raft is an expert in rafting with years of experience. He tells the others that their best chance of survival is to hold on tight to the raft as it falls down the waterfall, and that the raft is built to withstand an event like this. The fear grows massively as they approach the waterfall. As the raft starts to go over the waterfall and free fall, 4 of the 6 individuals freak out and forget to hold on tight like the expert said. They fall out of the raft. The raft falls and lands at the bottom of the waterfall, all intact. The 2 remaining individuals that held on tight and did not let fear paralyze them made it just fine. The river turned calm again, and the scenery was better now than it was before. So there's my story. Let me know how I did. I created this all on my own, in my head. But the moral of this story is don't let fear control you and make you make bad decisions. I see that happen too often. So this story is what I felt has happened since 2020 till now. So in 2020 and 2021, the stock market was doing great, right? Everyone is happy. You can literally throw a dart, pick a stock, invest in it, and you're going to make money. We had 2 years basically of strong stock market returns. So that was representing the initial calm waters and the beginning of the boat ride with all 10 investors. But then at the beginning of this year, 2022, we started hitting some level 3 rapids. The stock market started getting volatile. We had, those 2 individuals get knocked out of the raft, which represents investors selling out of fear. They're selling out of their portfolios and some stocks as the volatility happens. So then, after that, the water's calm, which is what I think we might go through in these next month or two, the summer months. We might see some leveling off of the dip that we had and maybe even some growth. I think we've had a few days of decent greens. Today is red again, but regardless, I think we might see some calmness before the storm, the waterfall. Now, the waterfall is what I feel is ahead for us investors. And I think there's a small chance that that calm stream off to the right can happen. And that's the Fed being able to create a soft landing with the increase in rates. But I think that's very rare. We've seen through history when inflation gets really high, it's usually followed by a recession. So the waterfall is the recession. That small calm stream, that little small window of opportunity is the Fed doing a soft landing. So I really do feel that that's a small chance. So I think the waterfall is almost inevitable. That's what's probably going to happen probably later on this year or early next year. That recession will hit, in my opinion. I can't predict things. Maybe they can pull off that soft landing, which would be great because then there's other things that get affected, right? Job losses, people go through hard times. But we have to be in reality and realize that that waterfall is more likely than not. So the winners, the people that didn't jump out as the waterfall occurred, which would represent, a big stock market decline due to the recession, where a lot of people will sell out, which you shouldn't sell when your stocks are low. That's the worst time, right? You're taking losses, you're locking them in. Instead, be like the 2 people that listen to the experts, the people that have been through this a few times saying, hold on, keep buying, stay strong, you'll be good in the end. They're going to be the winners. They're going to be the ones that survive, just like those people on the raft that I told that made it out in the end, the 2 remaining individuals. They got through the waterfall. We will get through a recession. It won't be easy. We'll question ourselves sometimes, but if we stay true to our long-term goals and we keep buying and averaging down during a time like that, an opportunity, that's when you make the most money. Those are some of the best times to buy and make money in the history, is during those recessions, those bad times when other people are fearful, jumping out of the raft, selling out of their portfolios. You hold on tight, you hold on to your stocks, keep buying. Those are some of the best opportunities to make money in the history when it comes to the stock market. Now, it's easy to become fearful, become impulsive, and act on emotions. Those are things you have to avoid. That's what happened with the people on the raft when they jumped out, because the fear just gripped them, the emotions. They got paralyzed. So I do think there's a small chance that we avoid a recession. It's a possibility, but I think more so we are headed for that waterfall. And so what I'm doing with this story is showing you that, the waters were calm. We had a lot of new investors come in the beginning of, right after the pandemic, because they were stuck at home. They saw other people starting to invest, making money. So a lot of people, new people to investing, started right after the pandemic. So they don't really know anything other than what we've seen so far in 2022 as far as volatility. But a true recession where the whole entire stock market goes down, more than 20%, and some stocks really do crash, businesses go under, that's something that they haven't experienced. I haven't, because I've just been investing in the same time frame, but I've listened to a lot of people, a lot of experts, a lot of people with wisdom, and I try to put that into my own mind. So I think we need to be prepared for that waterfall. and keep our long-term goals in mind and what we need to do during that waterfall. That is the time to hold on, keep buying, averaging down, because at the end, like I said, the scenery is going to be better than before. You'll be thankful that you didn't let fear take over, force you to sell out of stocks, that you kept buying and averaging down, and then at the end when that scenery is better than before, that's the representation of you making a ton of money, a ton of profit. And I think, I've seen too many friends do this. They know better, they hear it, but when it comes down to it, I think people get in this box, in this corner, they get cornered, they freak out and they sell because they think it'll either go much lower or they just quit. They're like, I'm done with the stock market. But those that make the most money stay invested, especially through the hard times, and especially if they're buying more during those hard times. It's just how it works. So I'm here to say, stay strong. There's a possible waterfall ahead that I can't predict, but it's just something I have a feeling, because I feel like we've seen some volatility, but we haven't really seen that big hit yet, in my opinion. I think consumers are still spending strong. What happens when that slows down? What happens when mass layoffs occur? What happens when companies across the board start readjusting their future estimates much lower? There's a lot that can still happen. What happens when these shortages, not just with baby formula occurs, but with a lot of other things? It's already happening with popcorn, I heard. Yes, popcorn. So we have two people. Elon Musk, he just came out and said he feels super bad about the economy and he's about to cut 10% of his own workforce with Tesla. So he's basically predicting there's some pretty bad times ahead. The CEO, the main guy at JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, says, brace yourselves for an economic hurricane. And he said it's mainly caused by the Fed, raising rates, cutting its balance sheet, and the Ukraine war. So I'm not saying that we should ever go off of what people say, because everyone cries out a stock market crash or a recession every single day. But what I do think is it's good to look at things outside the box. What's going on in outside of your environment, in the world, with companies, and that's where you bring in the common sense. And that's why I think there is a waterfall ahead. I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's just me putting forth kind of what I think is most likely to happen. So this is just something that I think we should prepare for, that there could be some rocky times ahead, and we just need to remember we're in this for the long term. We're in this to become wealthy, to make money, and as I'm showing you my portfolio performance with every video, that might go into the red this year, maybe next year, but I think the waterfall will happen at the end of this year, just my opinion. But we may see my portfolio go into the red. It's been in the green since I've invested from day one. I want to average down to some of those big losers like Meta and Tattooed Chef and Warner Bros. Discovery, but I also want to invest in companies that might be heavily in the green in my portfolio, because I think they're going to provide great strength going forward. So all I'm saying is start preparing yourself now mentally and know what your plan is going to be if times get really tough, because you don't want to get caught off guard and then do something like sell your stocks and then regret it later when the market goes up after the recession. Recessions are short-lived, on average 11 months. Expansions, powerful expansions, last on average 68 to 69 months. So just keep that in mind. The doom and gloom always seems bigger than what it is and seems like it's going to last forever. Where the good times, since you are having a good time, they seem to go quicker. But just remember, the good times last much longer than the bad times in the stock market. So let that also be something to keep in mind. With that said, let me know what you thought of my story, which I know it's not going to get published and be on the bestseller list, but I just hope it was something fun and different. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of me predicting a recession, the waterfall that might be coming up, or if you don't think that's going to occur and you think the Fed can create a soft landing. I'd love to hear your guys' viewpoints on that. And with that said, have a great day. We'll see you next time on Mark Arnold's Finance.